At this time, I want to bring a gentleman to the stage who I grew up with. We're around that same age bracket. And we were just talking behind stage about our great leaders. And I was saying, this is the reason why we're like we are with Mr. Wayne Smith, because we had people to look at for inspiration. We had,
without Dr. King, there would be no President Obama. Now, the last time we're going to say this, I want you to say it with your most enthusiastic voice that you can say it. Without Dr. King, there would be no President Obama. And I say that because we got to make the connection between these young ones. Young people today, you have the ability, if you get your right education, the right preparation, you can be president of the United States, you can be president of IBM, you can be president of whatever you want to do, and President Obama has proved that. But it had not been for Dr. King. At a time in American history, there were times in American history when you could not be what you wanted to be. And so today's remembrance is about a struggle in American history that we want you young people to understand. And if Dr. King were here today, he would clearly tell all of you, as young people, you have some challenges to meet today. And in about 2 minutes, I'm going to outline what some of those challenges are. In Newark, in Irvington, East Orange, in Trenton, in Plainfield, in Patterson, public schools are more segregated than when Dr. King started his struggle. That means most of you or your classmates are African American, Latino, and his goal was to create an integrated society where we got to work with one another, educate ourselves with one another, be able to have the same opportunities as one another, and get to know one another as people. So if we look at the dream and the legacy that we've left you young people, you still have a tremendous amount of work to do. Opportunities are there for all of us. The doorways of opportunity that Dr. King knocked down are absolutely open. But if we are too high by abusing drugs, then we cannot get through those doors of opportunity. If we are too lazy not to open up the computer and the textbook, then we will not get those opportunities to be president, whatever we want to be. So today, I would implore all of you, as we remember Dr. King, and over this next year of 2011, I encourage all of you to rededicate yourselves to a few bits of struggle. Number one, for young people, Dr. King was a very educated man. Dr. King had a PhD at a very, very young age. He graduated high school and college at a very, very young age. A lot of people don't talk about that, but Dr. King was very young when he got a PhD, very young when he graduated from college, and he led a movement as a very young man. The future of America is not in an old head like me, as you would say, but it's really invested in you young people if you take on the challenge. Like anything you want to change, President Obama said, I have to be the change that I want to see. And if you want to change your neighborhood, if you want to change your school, if you want to change your city, you can in fact do that. Now, you're young, so you don't have all the power, the money, and resources to do that, but you do have some things to do. How many of you can talk and give you the society that you want to have? So I want to thank the Scott brothers for trying to bring us together. And I think that it is a tremendous task. And I think as we advance events around the region, we have to get our young people more involved in these kinds of things. Because if we truly want to make an impact in the society, we have to. Now, the other piece, and I promise you I'm going, they have some wonderful vendors outside. And part of Dr. King's struggle is about, I won't say it as sophisticated as he would, but how many of you like loot, dinero, money, cash? You like all that stuff, right? We all like that, right? Dr. King was moving us from a civil rights movement to a silver rights movement, which means that we have to have money to do some of the things that we need to do in life. So the vendors are here, and I saw, one of the exciting things I saw, Howard, about one of the vendors was a young lady who had an enterprise out there. Because if you live in a neighborhood in one of our cities around this school, and you don't have the kind of businesses that you want, then you're going to have to be the people that create them. So they had a nice little business. They sold me a bean pie, and I love bean pies. They sold me a bean pie. They had a nice design thing around some sweets, and I like sweets too. I shouldn't eat them, but we like those kinds of things. But they're creating an enterprise that I could use. You young people are going to have to create the businesses in your neighborhoods that you want to see there. So support the vendors, because that's important that we create an economy in our neighborhoods. If Dr. King was here, I think he would challenge you to do the best you could do in your school and to work very hard at making society the kind of place that all of us could be proud of. God bless you and thank you very much.